there, I'm Sam Sorbo for the Accidental Homeschooler, and today we're going to walk through what it might feel like to make the decision to home educate your children. I decided that I'm getting so many emails from parents who are actually sort of considering it, but they're still kind of stymied by the fear. And you know, we live in a culture where we're really allowing fear to run the show. And that is not a good thing to do. And so there's a way to dispel your fear, and that's by bringing the thing that you fear close and examining it, if that makes sense. And in fact, it's funny because it takes right off from our new book, which just came out, called True Faith, Embracing Adversity to Live in God's Light, which is kind of funny. It came out on, this is Kevin's and my new book, came out on Valentine's Day, and it's funny because the subtitle is Embracing Adversity, and this is what I'm trying to get you parents to do when it comes to educating your children at home. It's a challenge, right? And we've all been faced with that challenge just recently with the coronavirus and the lockdown, and you're stuck and you're the educator now and you're running the show, and yet you have no idea what to do. And so the idea is, I've done a ton of videos, and if you haven't seen them, please go and watch some of the videos, watch them all, about the various aspects of how to home educate your children in this environment, the accidental homeschooler who never signed up for this, right? And I get it. I was there when my son had finished second grade, and it was a challenge. And I was just going, I don't know how to do this, but I don't like what's happening in the school, and so I have to do something. And a lot of times we don't like what's happening, but we're too afraid to do something. And so I want to try to dispel that fear for you so that you aren't afraid to do something. Before I get into the first tip that I'm going to give you, I want to talk to you briefly. Kevin and I are doing a joy-filled marriage seminar. It's more than a seminar. We're calling it a date night. It's a date night with the Sorbos. So we're going to double date, you and your spouse and me and my spouse. And we're just going to have a fun time, do some storytelling, do some delving into how to problem solve. Marriage is a challenge, but it's worth it. And again, embrace the adversity, bring it in, bring it closer, examine it, and it won't be so fear provoking, and you can get a grasp of it, and you can do it. Which of course is my message for home education too. So the first tip that I want to talk to you about today is make a list of pros and cons. I know that sounds like, really? Why would I do that? No. You need to do that because you need to get set in your mind. You need to organize your thoughts around what would the benefits be and what are the costs. And part of my cost-benefit ratio, it's funny because I was just talking to my daughter today about cost-benefit ratios. Part of my equation when I first started was I didn't like what the schools were doing. I didn't like the work that was being sent home with my son. And I also didn't like being the taskmaster standing over his shoulder making sure that he did it every day when that was basically my only interaction with him before dinner every school day. And the other part of the interaction was, hurry up and get your shoes. You forgot your lunch. Go back to go run back in and get it. Oh, you forgot that, was this sort of hectic interaction. And then it was after the school day, it was, making him do his homework and double checking him and correcting that. And then it was maybe we had a chance to sit down and have a little fun time just between me and my son, that kind of thing. And so definitely on my list, one of the pros would be more beneficial social interaction with my child. And that's a pro that the school can't compete with. It can't compete because the school removes the child from your life for 7.5 or 9 hours a day or whatever it is. So give that some serious thought. And also the cons. The cons are my time is no longer sort of just mine to do with what I, as I want. I mean, uh, I remember the emails when the drop-off day, the first day of school, and the emails of the crocodile tears. Oh, I'm so sad. I dropped my child off at school. The problem was that my tears were real. I didn't like dropping my child off at school. So I wasn't looking forward to going and having drinks with my girlfriends at lunch or whatever. So make a list, pros and cons. We're going to cover one of these tips to gearing up for the fall. We're going to cover one of them each day this week and each day next week. I tried to do a list of 5, but I couldn't boil it down to 5. I think it's important to consider very, very strongly what your options are. And so please join me. Also, check out the other videos at this YouTube, or if you're looking at it at samsorbo.com. If you email me any questions, I'm happy to answer questions. I'm answering them all the time. Email me questions. Maybe I'll feature a question that you have in one of these videos. And I'll sign you up for the newsletter as well. This is my book, They're Your Kids, An Inspirational Journey from Self-Doubt to Homeschool Advocate, because it is the greatest journey that you will take with your children, and you can do it. And then finally, this book is also available at samsorbo.com. Everything's available at samsorbo.com. This is Teaching Your Child Virtue, Godly Characteristics, the things that we want our children to learn. In the schools, they are teaching our children that life is an accident of nature. Therefore, children are accidents, and they have really no intrinsic value, and survival of the fittest, which means basically racism, bullying, sexism is all perfectly reasonable because survival of the fittest. And so this is to counteract that. So even if you do choose to send your children to school in the fall, please get a copy of this and do it with them, because it teaches them how to be virtuous people, how to be, we want our kids, we don't want our kids to be liars. We don't want them to be cheaters. We want them to be upstanding citizens who can get along with people in life, right? And that's what this is about. So you can find this at samsorbo.com as well. Thank you so much for listening. Subscribe to the channel. You can go to my Facebook page too, the official Sam Sorbo Facebook page. And don't forget, this Thursday, date night with your spouse. Come, we're going to have some fun, tell some stories, and it's completely interactive. So we're there to answer questions. You can ask questions about anything. No guarantees I answer it, but I'm happy to entertain it. So please join us there at homegrowngeneration.com/date. homegrowngeneration.com/date. It's in the description also. Thanks so much. Looking forward to seeing you Thursday evening, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, 5:30 p.m. Pacific. All the best. Thanks for listening.